This is a story of boy meets girl, but you should know up front, this is not a love story.
What's going on, y'all? It's your friendly neighborhood gangster BX Beast Boy. And today we're going to talk about BLM. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. And not because a bunch of people have been asking me, yo, Beast Boy, when you going to do that video? I know. Not because of that, actually. I was going to officially do it, but the reason why I'm doing it now is because of dating apps. I said it's because of dating apps. Yeah. I've been working on a new video that you guys might not see for a while, but fam, it's pretty damn funny. Working on a new video, going on dating apps, doing research. And while I was on there, I kept noticing that when girls were hitting me up, they would ask me, what does it mean being a free thinker? Because that's on my profile. And it was somehow always leading to a BLM conversation. And I always would get blocked. Fam, it wasn't nothing else. It was nothing else because I would be so blatantly honest about BLM, they could not stand it. So I was like, yo, fam, we gotta talk about it. It makes people that uncomfortable. First of all, that's a dating requirement. Like, do you support BLM? No. Oh, I can't mess with someone that don't support me. I can't mess with someone that can't make opinions for themselves. So we are definitely going to talk about this today. And actually, fam, I did a whole bunch of research, fam, and you guys are going to be super intrigued, I believe. Now, the first question is, what is BLM? Let's get some help from Choice, formerly known as Choice TV. Break it down.
The Black Lives Matter Foundation is a global organization in the US, UK, and Canada whose mission is to eradicate white supremacy, build local power to intervene in violence inflicted in Black communities. Black Lives Matter purposely initially was created to educate the world about imbalanced circumstances that further lead Black people into systematic slave circles. Today, Black Lives Matter is deemed as a massive staple for political and social movements advocating for nonviolent civil disobedience in protests against indecence of cops, police brutality, and racially motivated violence against Black people. The Black Lives Matter movement was founded by three Black scholar women by the names of Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tomedy. Due to the Black Lives Matter movement, it has inflicted a lot of good and it has evoked a lot of change. I can't say it didn't evoke a lot of change because it has. It has definitely served its purpose. But Black Lives Matter is a little problematic.
Now, as truthful as that was, I still felt like there was a lot more left out of that explanation. Let's explain what BLM really is and what they're really about. I figure the best way to start with that is to tell you what they removed from their website. Oh, it's no longer in their mission statement because they realized how problematic and insane it would be to blatantly tell people that they didn't want fathers in the household. Yes, I said that correctly. They did not want fathers in the household. Run that clip.
One thing that's very interesting about the Black Lives Matter site is one of their goals is to disrupt the nuclear family. Bitch, when I found that shit out, I damn near threw my phone across the room. If y'all didn't know what a nuclear family is, well, before I even tell you what that is, here's what their site says verbatim. So this is what their site says. Their site says that they want to dismantle the nuclear family, but they want to dismantle the westernized version of the nuclear family. So basically, if you don't know what a nuclear family is, well, if you don't know what Western is, Western means anything white. So Western means Western culture, whitewash, white this, white that, anything that's deemed as white, right? So they want to dismantle the westernized version of the nuclear family. The nuclear family is basically a family where it's a two-parent household. So a nuclear family, a good example is The Cosby Show, My Wife and Kids, The Bernie Mac Show. That's an example of a nuclear family where there's not a single parent, but there's a two-parent dynamic that helps raise the kids. A two-parent household, that's what a nuclear family is, a two-parent household. And they want to dismantle that because they feel as though that society, especially America, has a westernized version of it. Can y'all explain to me what's so Western, aka white? What's so Western about a nuclear family? Why would they want to disrupt and dismantle it? It makes no sense. Did you guys know that at least 80% of people who are in prison right now for life, 80% of them are actually coming from a fatherless home? Black, white, Latino, Asian, Hispanic. All of them come from a fatherless home. Did you know that majority of the gang members that are in Venezuela, that are in Honduras, that are in places like Ecuador and El Salvador, a lot of those people who are in gangs come from a fatherless household? Did you know that? Isn't it really interesting how they want to dismantle the nuclear family, but that's like one of the best things that could ever happen to people? Now, don't get it twisted. Not all nuclear families are good, because some fathers are obviously trash or some mothers are obviously trash. But let me just say that 85% of you guys can honestly admit, a lot of you guys who grew up in single parent households can admit a lot of you guys had some underlying issues growing up because you didn't have two parents in your life. You can admit that because you didn't have two parents in your life, or because you didn't have two good active participants in your life, or one good participant in your life, you can admit that you have issues. There's a reason why a lot of women date shitty men that abuse them, men that treat them like shit, men that just use them for sex. A lot of time, those are women who have daddy issues, and a lot of them can admit that. The same thing with men who go around disrespecting black women. The same thing with men who go around disrespecting women in general, assaulting women, abusing women. A lot of them grew up around mothers who didn't teach them how to respect women, or grew up in a fatherless household where their father didn't show them a good example of how women should be treated. You see, I'm coming from here. Having a two-parent dynamic is one of the best things that can happen to people. But even if a father isn't in the home, your father should be in your life, even if he isn't in the home. But a lot of people don't have that luxury of having their father in their life and not having their father in their home. Imagine not having your father in your life and not having the father in the home. That's a stressful thing. Financially, physically, and mentally, it's a struggle for children who don't have two parents in their life. It's just a struggle. You don't need two parents in your life to be successful, but it is a struggle. So let's just be real here, that Black Lives Matter is a little bit corrupt and problematic. The organization at least is a little bit corrupt, because I find it weird how they want to disrupt the nuclear family and they want to combine everyone like a village. That's their goal. They want everyone to collectively be like a monolithic, uniformic family. They want all black people to come together as like a village. They want us to be like this little village that comes together and helps one another. Forgive me, but when rent is due on the 1st, do you think black people about to come up and be like, oh, here's $100. I'll help you with your rent? No. When mothers watching this, when you need a babysitter for your child, do you think the black community is going to want to come together as a village and help you, take care of your child? No, they're not going to babysit your damn kid. And that's just the truth of it. They want to make everyone a monolithic village type group, when in reality, that doesn't do anything for black people. No, we should be encouraging a nuclear family. We should be encouraging that. We should be encouraging women to make better choices than men, or men make better choices than women, so that way we can have a nice family structure. That's what we should be encouraging. We shouldn't be encouraging eradicated so that way we're all family. No.
You might even be wondering, where's all the money going? When people donate, where's that going to, huh? Yeah, it's going to something called Act Blue. And no, that is not Snoop Dogg's younger cousin that's still gangbanging. It is definitely something shady. Let's run a clip from Gothix, another content creator that I watch from time to time. She's pretty dope. Check out her channel, as well as Troy's too, the other content creator I played from earlier. But play this clip real quick so we can hear this breakdown of what the hell, or where the hell the money is going.
When you go to their donate page, you'll see that all of their donations are being processed through Act Blue, which is a fundraising platform that processes payments specifically for Democratic candidates and organizations. And of course, some of you might be like, okay, well, if BLM is a political movement, that's okay, because we still want Trump out of office. Fair enough argument. I know that a lot of people don't like the guy, whether they have an informed opinion on him or just hate him because it's trendy. But consider this for a second. If it's proven that BLM has been using its organization to raise money for Biden, you'd have to ask yourself, why isn't he capable of raising money on his own? Think about it. If Americans really do love Biden as much as everyone says they do, surely they would be more inclined to support his campaign in the first place, right? But hypothetically speaking, if this were actually true, obviously I know Biden can't control how BLM decides to use their donations. However, it is a little bit interesting to see how racial equality is the focal point of his campaign all of a sudden, while Biden and the left-wing media refuse to condemn any of the riots and looting until they realized how much it was hurting the polls.
The rioting has to stop. Chris, as you know and I know, it's showing up in the polling. It's showing up in focus groups.
Which makes it seem like black votes rank higher than black lives.
Oh, yeah. It's super shady with their level of support for the Democratic Party, fam. And I'm super unbiased when it comes to the government because I don't believe in voting for neither party. I think everyone's nasty within the government. I think Biden was just as nasty as Trump, if you ask me. This man had the nerve to sit his ass right in front of Charlemagne and go, oh, you're going to vote for me because if you don't, you're not black. We let this white male tell us, and we do this all the time. We allow it all the damn time, especially when it involves subjects like this. This white male tell us that we are not black unless we do what he wants us to do or what certain people like BLM wants us to do. Yeah, groupthink. Mob mentality. Yeah, it's all cancel culture. It's all connected. You know how bold you have to be able to tell someone that they're not their race unless they do what you say? That is insane. That has been allowed for so long. And it's not just Biden.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my...
Oh, no, it's a bunch of liberals out there sit here and they think they could tell you how you should vote or how you should think. I used to have a friend that used to do that a lot. Notice how I said used to. Yeah, we're not friends anymore. He thought he could tell me how to be black. He wasn't black whatsoever, fam. And we definitely bumped heads on that a lot until eventually I just realized that I don't like to argue with stupid and we no longer talk. Now, big question a lot of people might be asking, well, how does BLM react when you give them criticism? Not well. Not well at all for no way, shape, or form. You want to hear some examples or you want to see some? How about we talk about the Terry Crews situation and his debates with the whole Black Lives Matter movement? Let's run a clip.
All right, everybody, please listen to this segment because actor and activist Terry Crews facing backlash for tweeting, "We must ensure Black Lives Matter."
Let me just straight up say I'm not a fan of this guy. Not in any way, shape, or form. And I'm talking about not Terry Crews, this Don. This Don.
Matter doesn't morph into Black Lives Better. Here's how he explained it. Are all white people bad? No. Are all black people good? No. Knowing this reality, I stand on my decision to unite with good people, no matter the race, creed, or ideology. Given the number of threats against this decision, I also decide to die on this hill.
I really don't see anything wrong with what he said. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what Terry Crews said.
Terry Crews joins me now. Terry, man, you stepped in it.
Biased as hell. Out the gate. Not even, explain yourself to elaborate. What do you mean? Because, man, you stepped in. You wrong. You just... I was there. I wish I was there. I'd have ate this man alive in the debate. Like, he really be talking crazy, man. How dare you? How dare you even talk to Chris's pops like that? Do you know he can calculate the amount of grains of rice that you spilled on the floor and you over here questioning his judgment? Huh? No hairline having a...
You say that you're willing you say you're willing to die on this hill. You've taken a lot of heat for this. Explain what you were thinking and why it's so important that you die on this hill.
Well, again, I wanted to bring up the fact that, there are some very, very, militant type forces in Black Lives Matter. And what I was issuing was a warning. It's one of those things where I've been a part of different groups. I've been a part of different things. And you see how extremes can go far and can go wild. And then when you issue a warning, and when a warning is seen as detrimental to the movement, how can you ever have checks and balances?
Facts. If you're not allowed to give any kind of criticism, it's like you're the end all be all, right? Is that what BLM is trying to say? Don't ever question us. Don't think for yourself. We don't want that. Nah. One band, one sound. That's exactly what they say. One band, one sound. That's drumline, man. 1782. I'm high. I'm definitely high. I was not going to get that date right at all. I don't know why I tried. In the 60s and 70s, airplanes went down all the time. And the reason they found out why they did was because the pilots could never be questioned. And when you have the leaders of the Black Lives Movement who are now talking about, if we don't get our demands, we're going to burn it down. Other Black people who are Maxine Waters. Fam, it's just you hiding behind BLM when you say all this nastiness, man, all else. Yeah. And other various actual Black Lives Matter leaders
who are talking about working with other whites and other races. They're being viewed as sellouts or called Uncle Toms. Let
me just, the look at this guy's face, man. So Don Lemony, ain't nothing lemon in his mind. Well, he look like he eating a lemon right now. Like he just judging. It's judgmental.
Actually, you start to understand that you are now, being controlled. You're not being treated as loved. You're actually being controlled. Someone wants to control the narrative. And I viewed it as a very, very dangerous self-righteousness that was developing that really viewed themselves as better. It was almost a supremacist move.
Let me just...
He's right. And look at Don cutting him off.
Where they viewed that their Black lives mattered a lot more than mine.
Okay. So let me jump in.
All right. So that shows me that he wasn't really interested in hearing Terry Crews out. He wanted to say his piece. He gave him enough space. He didn't hear him at all. Tell from that smug ass look that was on his face. And he's all right, let me say something. Just come on. Fam.
There's a lot that you said.
Shout out to Terry for keeping his composure.
You think Black Lives Matter is, you said you think it's an extreme movement? Because it's now part of the...
No, but this is the thing.
It is. What? So what? You calling out for riots? Yeah. If he didn't say it, I said it. You ask people to riot, we gonna get our choices or else. We're gonna do this. It's extreme, fam. And you'll be a fool not to actually analyze that and say, yeah. Sometimes they go over the top.
It's a great mantra. It's a true mantra. Black lives do matter. But when you're talking about an organization, you're talking about the leaders. You're talking about the people who are responsible for putting these things together.
I got you. So,
how do you have him if you not letting him talk, Don? I want to know. I want to know, fam. The way that you're doing this is so aggressive. And mind you, if this was an actual debate, like a real debate, fam, I would understand a little bit of your assholery, if that's not even a word. But I'm making it. You heard it here first, assholery. But fam, this is Terry Crews is coming with a peaceful type of tone. He's trying to explain inside, and you're just being super aggressive. And you know who to do that too. Man, you ain't gonna catch me with that. You would never. Anyone who's willing to stand their ground and not back down from with your punk ass tactics, you wouldn't do that too.
So let me, Terry, you realize that even during the civil rights movement that Dr. King was seen as extreme. That movement was seen as extreme.
You comparing BLM? That's what I gotta call him. BLM. Sound it out. So Dr. King, civil word. For real? Word Don. That's what we doing? That's the ledge we on with it. No. There's not a Dr. King in the bunch. And that's disrespectful even to compare yourself to that man, fam. Malcolm X smacked the hell out of you. Even he would be like, yeah, he gone too far. You notice that towards the end of his life, he started changing a lot of his philosophies and thoughts on things.
To people who don't want to make change, movements are seen as extreme. You can paint them easily as an extreme when they are not.
It's
okay. All right. An exact opposite applies too. If it is extreme, you could paint it as it's not extreme like you're doing. See, Terry Crews ain't even thinking on that. He's on some trying to resolve thing. He's not even thinking to debate back with this guy. Like, yo, Don, this smug, I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. What do you think? Because Terry Crews got muscles, he ain't got a brain. Everything he's saying is accurate. Everything you saying, excuse my French, is full of shit. I'm gonna just call a spade, man. Just that's what they do. This is comparing that to something else that has nothing to do with it. You're gonna throw MLK in there, knowing that he's a love figure, and people are gonna go, yeah, man, how you gonna argue with MLK? We ain't talking about MLK, Felito. That's why that juror that just messed up that whole thing when he had the blim shirt on, looking like a fool, but then had a big MLK face in the middle of that, man. You're not slick, yo. That's not slick. This exactly, you see the same way he did this. That's why they put MLK on them shirts when they did the protest and tried to say it was a registration. Come on, man, with the sneaky tactics. Just be straight up. Man. This whole fraud stuff I'm tired of it. I'm sorry, Terry Crews didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't say nothing wrong. Don Lemon, everything about you is wrong. Your hairline wrong. Eyebrows wrong. Smug ass face wrong. Looking like somebody did this to you. So stretched out skin. Somebody just mushed your mugging. That means that I'm gonna get canceled again.
This is very true, but also when you're talking about MLK, you're talking about Nelson Mandela, and even Malcolm X. They all realized that you had to have a non-racial component.
What did I just say? Towards the end of Malcolm X's life, he started switching things up.
These kind of movements, or there will be resentment. There will be get back. There will be one of these people will tend.
My face hurts a little bit.
I don't want to move from one oppressor to the next. And one thing is really
who's the next oppressor?
BLM. I'm going to say what Terry Crews is not trying to say because he's a nice person. BLM, because what you're doing, look at the intensity that you're coming at him with, fam. That's what you're doing. You're just doing it in a sneaky way. Is you think like us or else. That is oppression, bro. What's wrong with you?
Who's the next oppressor?
Oh, when I describe this, when you look in the city of Chicago, there are 9 children who died by gun violence, by black on black gun violence from June 20th all the way to today. And you're talking about even with the Atlanta child murders, there were 28 kids who died in 2 years. You're talking about a month, and you have 9 black kids, and the Black Lives Matter movement has said nothing about this.
What does that have to do with equality, though, Terry? I don't understand what that has to do with equality because there's crime.
Maybe the name with your simple ass. It's called Black Lives Matter. It's not called Equality Matters. It's not called The Police Need Work. That's what it should have been. The police need work. Fair. If the name of your thing is Black Lives Matter, you would assume that Black lives would fall underneath that, right? Wrong. Just like how they use Martin Luther King's name. Throw that out there, to mislead you. Same way they throw Black lives out there. Just to get you to side with them. It's not their mission, fam. It's not their mission. They don't give a damn about Black lives. And neither does this clown. I'm about to get him, yo. I'm trying to hold back from getting him too. Ooh, I don't want this video to get taken down.
Crime. There are people in those communities those people aren't just being nonchalant about gun violence. I lived in Chicago. There are many people who are working in those communities to try to get rid of the gun violence. The gun culture in this country is prevalent, but I don't understand what that has to do.
And there are many other organizations that were doing what BLM claimed to have done or be working on. What does that mean? So every time someone even tries to bring up an argument for why you should support BLM, I should bring up the argument that, well, there are plenty of other people that's working on the same things that they're working on. Sorry. No, that's stupid. That's a dumb ass. Yo, fam, there's like one point in your career, you just like, let me just not make any more sense. Just none. I ain't even got to try hard. I got a name. I'm on a show. I get a check. I ain't even got to think. I'm going to just say whatever they tell me on the teleprompter and just say whatever bull crap I think I can get away with it. It's Don Lemon, ladies and gentlemen.
with a movement that's for equality for Black people. It's not mutually exclusive that if you care about equality for Black people, that somehow you're going to stop random violence or, unfortunately, kids from being shot. It just seems like,
yeah, how dare someone ask you to care about Black lives when your name is Black Lives Matter? Oh, it only when you pushing your agenda. That's makes so much sense. And you can tell from Terry Crews's face, he realized this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Is at this moment, Terry Crews is like, okay, I get it. You can't argue with stupid, fam. Some people, when they have their mind made up, it's no point in actually having a conversation. They want to have a conversation with you because they think they can change your mind, not to actually be open to to be open to the fact that their mind could be changed, I should say. And you can tell.
Apples and oranges.
You know, it's not that way. You know, this is the thing.
It really ain't.
Black people
He's
need to hold other Black people accountable. I think it's the same thing. This is the Black America's version of the Me Too movement. If anything is going to change, we ourselves need to look.
Which was some bull crap. That's what he's trying to say in a nice way. Me Too movement was some bull crap, fam. Good idea. Poorly. What the hell is that? Poorly executed. At least I'll be catching when I'm bugging with the words. I'll be catching. I could just be like, poorly and duply. But do it like a lot of these race hustlers be doing.
Look at our own communities and look at each other and say, this thing cannot go down. And this is the thing, too. There are a lot of great, great people there who are held hostage, by people who literally are running these neighborhoods with violence and then claiming that Black Lives Matter. When you look at the parents of these little kids who are saying, hey, man, why aren't they speaking up for me, too? And this is what I'm saying. When I look at this whole thing about,
you don't care.
It's about who's controlling the narrative. It's got to be all Black Lives Matter. And what's happened is that because I even challenged it, because I even questioned,
you ready to cut him off? He ready to cut him off again
and warn people.
Terry,
I became sick. Like if I told you to wear a mask,
Terry,
no, you don't get it.
You're a high profile person. You're writing things out there. You know you're going to get backlash. You know people are going to respond to what you're saying on Twitter. So I don't think you should be surprised by that. I have a skin as tough as an armadillo because of.
Dude, that's not what he's saying. Yo, you're trying to make it seem like he's not a man, fam. Like, come on, dude. He's not talking about being sensitive or having tough skin. He's saying that when he challenged the idea that everyone, the masses, was saying, no, you're wrong for that. He got a bigger backlash than he should have just because he gave an opinion. And that's because Black Lives Matter, they go on this weird, I hate to say this, brainwashing, mob mentality, cancel culture wave. They follow that trend just so you can get people to shut up and follow you. And when they don't shut up and follow you, they're painted as a villain. That's what he's trying to explain to your simple ass, Don. But you sitting here talking about small, listen, you should get tough skin. You saying everything but acknowledging what the hell he's saying. I can see Terry Crews, I commend you. He's getting frustrated. He's getting real frustrated. He went from Chris Pops to Damon real quick. He's about to switch up. Don is tripping, bro. Don is really tripping.
Of what I do. And I think maybe you should adapt that. But here's what I have to say. The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in community.
Okay, this sounds so stupid. This is it's called Black Lives Matter. If it's about police brutality, call it something else. Because you about to tell him if you want someone to care about Black lives, don't come to Black Lives Matter. You stupid tough skin. You got tough skin, right? You stupid. You not smart, fam. Especially not as you what you pretend to be, in my personal opinion, bro. That come on, fam. And you know who you doing this to. You know who you're doing this to, fam. One of these days, I'm gonna make enough of a name to where these guys gonna call me out and put me on CNN and not know what they doing. Oh yeah, that'll be the last time I'm ever on TV. But I'm going to cook him. I will cook him if I ever got on there, fam. That's not letting people get off with this bull
black
crap.
Communities. Then start that movement with that name. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. It's not an all-encompassing. So if you're talking about, if someone started a movement that said, cancer matters, and then someone comes in and said, why aren't you talking about HIV? It's not the same thing. We're talking about.
That comparison was crazy. That comparison was crazy. Okay, so let's break it down. Black Lives Matter. How about this? Why y'all not talking about other black lives that's being lost? How about that, fam? Huh? You can't see I'm saying anything else. I'm literally saying what's in the name. Black Lives. Why y'all not talking about the black lives in Chicago? You know, all the other lives that's being lost. You're a simpleton, fam. Anyone who would argue this is a blatant fool, fam. There's no way. There's no way. You would be going based off of emotion purely. Because if we're going off of logic and definitions and words, what world do we live in, fam? If we was to rewind this 20 years ago, yo, fam, people would have laughed Don Lemon out the room for saying something stupid like that. Like, wait, you're saying it's called Black Lives, but it's about police. It's not about black lives. No, it's only about, okay. Yeah, get out of here. Pack your bags. You're not working here no more. Maybe that's might have been what would happen. But now, because in society, it's cool to not make sense, but to be nice. I'm a nice person. I care about your feelings. I don't gotta make sense. Feelings. Shut up with that. I'm tired of it. I don't care about your feelings. I don't. Especially Don Lemon. If you Don Lemon, one of the last people.
About cancer. So the Black Lives Matter movement is about police brutality and injustice in that manner, not about what's happening in black neighborhoods. There are people who are working on that issue. And if you want to start that issue, why don't you start it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
But we
want to start that. If you want to care about black lives, go ahead. You should be the only one. You started. Yeah, he knew not to do this interview in person. Terry Crews might have kicked him through it. Wow.
But when you look at the organization, police brutality is not the only thing they're talking about.
I know that. I agree, but that's not what the Black Lives Matter movement is about, Terry. Black Lives Matter is about police brutality and about.
Yo, why are you talking to him like he's a baby? I know that's not what it's about, Terry. Just repeating that same ass bullcrap excuse over and over again is not going to make it relevant or the truth. Don, I hate to break it to you.
Criminal justice. It's not about what happens in communities when it comes to crime, black on black crime. People who live near each other, black people, kill each other. Same as whites. 80% of white people are killed by white people because of proximity.
Very true.
It's the same thing with black people.
But
that happens in every single neighborhood. But that doesn't, again, I'm not saying that's not important that those kids died.
That is what you're saying.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. I totally understand. It is about police brutality. That should never be accepted. Yeah. I am not saying that that's not it, but there's more there. Okay. And when I look at, if they have more on their agenda, we need to ask them about what else is on that agenda other than police brutality. And that's all I'm doing.
You see, he just, all right. Okay. All right. Just trying to shut him down. Like,
questioning, warning.
You don't got nothing.
And if that bothers you,
he's trying to stop.
Because if I can't warn you, we are equal. We're
I'm
equal.
over.
I should be able to say
Terry.
something.
I gotta go. We'll see you. Terry, thank you for coming on our. If
I was Terry Crews, I would never go on there again. Why waste your time? Why waste your time, especially if they're just going to try to flip a narrative? Ted Cruz is such a good person, man. And if listening to Don Lemon just straight be a fool wasn't bad enough, let's check out this other debate with someone who's anti-BLM versus someone who is pro-BLM. Let's see if they can actually come to a conclusion.
I'm not pro Black Lives Matter because I don't believe it helps me or my family or my Black brothers and sisters.
I'm really passionate about the Black Lives Matter movement. The movement has a lot of power to make the country. I
ain't trying to judge nobody else their looks and how they sound, but I'll go ready to tell you this is about to be interesting as hell, and I'm not going to assume anything else. I'm just going to think, I can tell this is about to be interesting.
Free and this world a better place.
I don't believe Black Lives Matter is doing good. I believe they've turned into a terrorist organization.
I get very frustrated when I come across people who don't appreciate the struggle that African Americans have had to go through throughout history.
A lot of
You see that? She's talking about facts and just things that she, I don't want to say like she feels, but her opinion on the facts, actually. He coming from a place of anger, like just I can't, when they don't listen to how we think. It seems like she's going to be coming from a more logical standpoint, which I'm interested in hearing as well.
People will get offended. They say, well, you're this color, you're brown, you're Black. You should be thinking this way. I don't think the way you expect me to think.
I'm not that's a fact. Least. Just sit down with somebody who has opposing views to mine. Nice to meet you, Taylor.
Taylor, nice to meet you. I like your shirt.
Thank you.
And your awesome. Thank you. Okay. So what is it to you? What does Black Lives Matter mean to you?
Okay. Black Lives Matter as a movement is a positive thing and it's doing good in the world.
To me, I think that it was started with good intention, to bring more of a healing to the Black community. But what it misses is actually helping and enabling Black people to take charge and to not be victims.
Facts. I like her already. She's actually saying some truthful statements. I'm not trying to be biased, fam. But let's see. Let's give him a chance to as well. Also, I want to point out, when people imitate like Black Republicans, they sound like that. That's the comedian imitation for Black Republicans, which is making this seem hilarious.
Black Lives Matter is not about victims. They're out there championing legislative change and trying to change the culture as a whole of America, not just of Black people, because a lot of the things that are happening within the Black community are coming from outside of the Black.
Yo, you can tell from his breathing, he's frustrated already. Just saying the word victims, which mind you shouldn't really get that offended because it is about victims. If it's about police brutality, there's a victim in the brutality, right? Correct? So yeah, you be a little bit too emotional. Look at these anxious. It's not even for entertainment. He's genuinely mad.
Community in the past and even today.
I believe Black Lives Matter has become a terrorist organization.
In what way?
I have seen the violence. I've seen it on the news. I've seen people who have attacked.
I haven't seen that same violence. I've seen.
Word. I'm telling they blind, fam. How are you so ride or die for something and you're not aware of fam? Just look it up. It's not that hard. And it's because, watch, I bet you even after this, if he was to get into this discussion, this happened in 2019, it says, fam, he'd still be like, wow, I still never seen it because he didn't even take the time to look it up, did you?
Violence enacted against the Black Lives Matter movement. I've heard about people getting run over by white supremacists and neo-Nazis and
like Black Lives Matter is.
I heard about people that was protecting their businesses being hurt. Heard about people that put out trash can fires that were attacked and jumped because of it. I heard about, I can keep going. I've heard the opposites of these things that you're saying. Only difference is I'm acknowledging all sides. BLM only acknowledges their side, and it's mob mentality.
It's like, oh yeah, we're in trouble, we're hurt, so let's just be angry about it instead of doing something about it.
Anger gets done.
You don't have to be angry. Martin Luther King Jr. was.
Martin Luther King was really angry. He was just really good at not showing the most of the time.
Wow.
Outspoken.
What? No, that's not even cute. Wow. So we need to do everything just angry and then to discredit all the work like by saying that, something like that. That fam, that's what? Martin Luther King was just angry all the time? Wow. Okay. You stupid. I'm just saying, man. Why am I trying to sugarcoat it? You're talking just off of emotion. You're talking out your ass. Like, come on. I know she getting frustrated.
Spoken, and he was strong.
He was. Did you read the Birmingham letters?
Strength.
That was anger.
If you can be angry at something while still being respectful to the people that
the way you convey your anger may be different. I'll give you that. You might convey your anger a little bit different.
Anger is not a bad emotion, but the way you convey it is everything.
If you visit the website,
you could be frustrated, like too as well. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to fall on the anger or anything that seems like rageful, fam. I should say, but you can be frustrated. You can be stressed. It's a whole bunch of things, fam. Whole bunch of other words. Like, so nah, I'm not riding with that. I'm not going to say Martin Luther King was angry.
It tells you on the website that the goal is for inclusivity. They're about dealing with situations with loving.
What else is said on the website? What else did it say on the website?
Consideration. It may not seem that way from the outside, but if you understand the injustices that are being enacted upon the Black community,
clearly
you can't blame people for being upset.
You don't understand. You don't agree with me? If you understand, I hate that. Fam, there's a bigger content creator too that I guess they came in one of my videos and tried to comment, and I was going to have a conversation with them. I did, actually. We disagreed. But once they threw the response of you must not know or you ain't heard this and this and this, I went into debate mode and destroyed them. And that they felt offended. But guess what? I was somewhat offended too. Don't tell me I don't know. Like, you think I have that much lack of intelligence to do research on things? You're literally commenting on my video about it and you telling me I must not know. So you're the end all be all for information, right? You know everything, right? Which is why you mixed up two different scenarios, right? Oh, what this? Fam, people just out of emotion, they would say whatever the hell comes to their mind. No need to have any logic behind it. No need to have any evidence. It's just this and this, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not the way things work, fam. Not at all.
If you were screwed over and somebody stole your wallet or something, you're not going to be like, could I please have my wallet back? No, you're going to be like, give me my wallet back, right?
Then is it?
You could just go to the authorities. Hey, this guy took my wallet. All right, handle that. Press charges. Boom. There's other options, fam. And I don't think there's no way, fam, hypothetically, metaphorical, whatever I can say for people not to go crazy. If I was to grab this man's wallet. Once again, not in real life. We just throwing it out there, just joking. He would do nothing. He would do nothing. He would be passive as hell, fam. He would be super passive. Come on, bro. Come on, fam. And I'm not just going 100% off looks. I'm going off bits of the way he's speaking, his breathing patterns as well, muscle, bone structure, all of that. All of these things, fam. And I could just tell that, no. All the stuff that you're saying, that was a bad example. She should ask him, is that what you would do? Is that what you're lying ass?
That is changing things.
What
has it changed?
We've been cited by the UN, which basically goes around the entire world this place is messed up, this place is up. And they were like, the United States, your racial problems are up. And you want to know why? Because Black Lives Matter made it visible to everybody. It highlighted that there's a series of problems that affect specifically, and
that can also be, I guess, presented in a way that, you know why other people think that is messed up? Because they made it seem like it's so messed up over there. Fam, if I grab a loudspeaker or whatever, a speakerphone, whatever the hell you want to put device, and stood in front of your store and said, the hamburgers is horrible here. If you had a store, of course, I'm in this situation. Hamburgers is trash here. And I did it every day, all day for a month. If someone was just visiting and walking by, they would be like, I don't want to go there. There's someone screaming that the hamburgers is bad over there. The hamburgers must be bad over there. Is that hard to think of that? Fam, I'm telling you, these examples that this guy is giving is bullcrap. It's all coming from pent up emotion, angry. Like, come on.
Especially Black people.
How many Black
face your hater? So you see the title of this damn thing? Face your hater.
You can't even count them with
who titled it?
All right, first off,
violence. It's much more of a problem. Much more of a problem in inner city ghettos. Health We have overweight Black Americans who are dying of diabetes. We have Black Americans who are uneducated. That is keeping Black people down. And listen, my mom, she raised me to say, you are not a victim. People look at you. Give them something good to look at.
All right. Essentially, I feel like your perspective is missing the systemic aspect of how, like, I can feel great about being Black, but like that doesn't change how the society will treat me. There's lots of situations.
So you gonna cry about it? So you gonna, he's literally not even arguing against what she's saying. He's proving her point. She's saying not to be a victim and stop blaming people and then try to move forward in life. And he's saying, so you're just going to ignore how they treated us? You just got to ignore that. What am I going to do with my yellow shirt? And I'm just sitting here. I'm so aggravated. I can't stop fidgeting. I can't stop. What am I going to do? BLM, tell me what to do. Tell me what. Yo, fam, I'm telling you, just look at the signs, fam. Look at how soft-spoken she is and how elegant she's being and how she's not breaking or like losing her frame. And she's just staying in the moment and total calmness. And it feels like, I was about to go into one of those, what's the name? Klondike bar commercials. It feels like she's skiing down the slopes, but the wind going into her.
Where it's like clear that our system is clearly prejudiced against Black people. The over-representation of Black people in prisons, we make up like so much of the prison population.
That's true.
And that's not like, that shouldn't be the case. And we get punished for like the same crimes more harshly than white people do. Stephen Clark was shot like 20 times in the back because they thought he had a gun and he didn't have a gun. And this happens like so frequently that now we finally have a law that they're passing.
In his hand that was shaped like
it was a phone.
I did see some pictures. I mean, I don't really know about
why are police like so scared of Black people? There are people who got shoot.
I will agree with that aspect. I'm not even gonna say that they're so afraid of Black people. Yeah, some of them might be terrified of Black people, but I will say that they're afraid. That's a problem with the police. If we're going to talk about the real problem, let's talk about the problem. Police need more like higher level of training. I've always said that they need to be military. I got friends that were in the military that would never make the mistakes that these police officers made. Easily. I can tell, fam, they not shook by loud sounds. Fam, you could drop the whole textbook right next to them, hand on a weapon. Don't even move. Oh no, I'm good. I've seen it from my peripheral. That's nothing to worry about. Why are police not getting that level of training? They should be superheroes. That way we can look up to them like they're superheroes. And when people say these crazy things, we will have better defenses as well. Like, come on, man, the high level training he does it'll be easier to defend. So I will agree with that there's a lot of people that become officers in the line of duty. They are terrified. It's a terrifying job, but that's your job. You should go up in there like a gangster and be able to handle everything the correct way as well. So that's one thing that they should be able to have common ground on.
Shoot up schools. They're like people who shoot up schools and they get them alive. But a person, we hear somebody breaking in windows in the car, breaking into cars, and
there's some people that have done that and have not been caught alive, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I think that's a false narrative. I do think that's a false narrative that he's spinning.
You assume, it's Black, let's shoot his ass.
I'm not going to argue against that.
You can't argue about it.
Okay, I can't.
You can. Yes, you can. Thank you. Yes, you can. Don't do that. Like, what's wrong with you? Fam, she was giving you a point. Like, yeah, you got this one, and just big ass mouth, cocky, fam. I'm telling you, this cockiness. It's not, I was about to say something different, right? Cockiness is through the roof, man. And I see that a lot with a lot of the BLM people. It's just, we can't be wrong. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. She's giving you the benefit of the doubt because you had some valid points. She has a lot of valid points, and you have not given her the benefit of the doubt, not whatsoever, man. Not whatsoever.
And a lot of these Black individuals who are getting shot are criminals themselves, are caught running from the cops. And
boom.
Say,
was Stephen Clark running from the cops?
What about the people that were running from the cops, though? What about that young man I think that everyone was going crazy over that had warrants out? What about the people that have weapons in their car? What about the people? There's so many different other scenarios. You going to just pinpoint whichever one fits your argument? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I can say that
he shot 20 times in the back, and apparently he must have been
That's your go-to too. Woo! As you mentioned that multiple times in this one. I would like to hear a new one from you. But I hear you.
I believe that that's an outlier statistic.
Well, I mean, what about Eric Garner? What about Eric Garner? Freddie Gray? Trayvon Martin?
A lot of these
Michael
guys,
Brown?
Well,
Trayvon Martin wasn't killed by the police, bro. You see what they do? You see that? I'm sure there's probably more that he said. The first one that stuck out, Trayvon Martin, that was not a police situation. That was not a police situation, Black Lives Matter. Like, yo, in the comment section, I want to see if you caught that. I want to see if y'all caught that, fam. Like, I'm looking at him. I'm hope somehow he come across. I'm looking dead in your eye. You stupid. And I'm saying this because it's narratives like that. That's how, misinformation get out, fam. That was some bozo, man. That was some bozo that was trying to be he was not a cop. The police told his ass to stay where he was at, and he went against their wishes. And come on, fam. Come on, he got to know that. He got to know he can't be that simple. Is he that simple? He got to be that simple. I'm
going to tell you something. It's much better now than it was before.
But that's a poor argument.
Society is changing, and Black Lives Matter is pushing this button and saying America's racist, and you have to stand up and you have to fight it, or everyone's going to die. That's not the truth. America is not extreme.
He's not even trying.
I'm not going to say my success is due to Black Lives Matter. My
you don't have to. I could be like the civil rights. I'm not success is not due to the civil rights movement, but that doesn't make it true.
Black Lives Matter is not the civil rights movement.
But it's not, and I hate the comparison that people keep making. It is not.
It's an extension. It's like
I don't
continuing a legacy. I was reading the Midwest. A lot of elections were won specifically due to the connection to Black Lives Matter movement. When they found specific politicians that were averse to Black issues, they lost. Police wear cameras now, partially because of the pressure that Black Lives Matter has put on society.
I didn't think the first point that he was saying was a bragging point. I don't think that was something to brag about. Like, we influence all of this. Like, woo, body cam. Maybe that's something you could be proud of, I guess. And no, people was wearing body cams before. The police was wearing body cams before that. I definitely remember. I used to watch Cops. But if it's more because of BLM, okay. But the other statistic that you said, I don't think that's something to brag about. I think it's actually terrifying, actually. If certain things is, this person was supporting this, so that's why they got, that's showing that you got a little bit too much power. And we all know power corrupts.
It's like major progress.
I don't believe Black Lives Matter has done the good things that you're telling me they've done. I believe that it's done more to push racism down our throats.
It's highlighting a problem that needs to be addressed, and they're empowering people to be involved. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
They're forcing you to do their bidding is more like it. Is that it?
Taylor.
Thank you.
I feel like there was no respect there. I think he's very young. I think as he grew up,
there was none. Look, look at the way he got. He was so upset. He couldn't contain it. His adrenaline was pumping. She walks off. She shakes his hand. And there was no respect. There was no respect. He didn't act as such. And he's all aggravated. Look,
Taylor.
Thank you.
Okay,
I feel like there was no respect there. I think he's very young.
He's like, I might have smacked his. Get your hand on my damn face. All that disrespect you was doing this whole time. Get your ass out of here, yellow Power Ranger.
I think as he grows older, I mean, it happens to all of us. We end up being more on a spectrum of beliefs.
Joy is being Afro-American, but not identifying with the issues that are Afro-American is a huge problem. And it's
just dumb. That you gotta stop, fam. You get this whole group thing. You gotta think like us and do what we say is so stupid. And I can see why you fell for that, because you definitely you are someone that can't make their own decisions. I can tell from the way you were talking and the things you were saying and the misinformation you were spreading. But fam, she's doing good. She don't need your help. She definitely don't need you. Great job.
Exploited by people in power because like there's only so many black people who are gonna like kind of sell out.
I definitely believe that there's a lot of
sold out, right? Don't agree with you, so they sell out. I wish they sold out of yellow shirts when you went to go buy that piece of crap that you're wearing, that travesty that you're calling my outfit. I wish that they sold out of that. I wish they sold out of that fake. I'm gonna get canceled. I gotta stop. I was gonna go in. I gotta stop.
People in Black Lives Matter that really truly want to change. And then there's other people who just pick it up to be angry. They're angry at life.
People assume that anger automatically invalidates an argument. And that's not true. You can be angry and you can be right.
Shut your ass up. Yeah, but I'm not going to want to even have a conversation with you. Call a spade with your simple ass. My next question. Does BLM actually care about black people? No. Like, I ain't gonna waste your time. Hell no. Hell no, fam. Especially black men. Personally, I feel like black men are being used by BLM to spread their narratives, their false narratives, and get what they want, which is more money for the Democratic Party and all this other nastiness, fam. Let's actually run a clip from Coleman Hughes where he speaks about this.
You tell one story that I think kind of crystallizes the problem with Black Lives Matter, which is when Lil Wayne, who was my favorite rapper growing up, he was on some mainstream news show, I forget which channel, and they asked him about Black Lives Matter, and he basically said, listen, that has nothing to do with me. I have like, it's me and like my 3 homies. That's all I care about. Black Lives Matter. I don't know about that. He didn't directly say it was bad. He just refused to endorse it affirmatively. And he was pounced on. And, at the same time, he also gave just like a straightforward endorsement of gangbanging.
Yeah, he raised his red bandana and said, I'm a gangbanger.
He said, I'm a gangbanger. Like, I don't know about Black Lives Matter. I'm a gangbanger. And the response to this was to absolutely just, at least metaphorically, flog him publicly until he apologized for not endorsing Black Lives Matter. But it's fine that he's a gangbanger, right? No one forced him to apologize for giving a straightforward endorsement of a criminal lifestyle. But he had to apologize because he wasn't completely on board with Black Lives Matter, right? I think that crystallizes the problem, which is we are so focused on everyone falling into line behind Black Lives Matter that we're actually not having an honest conversation about crime, which is a huge problem that black people disproportionately face, right?
Well, what you're getting at too is I think a lot of people see someone like Lil Wayne, raise his bandana and they perceive that. And when I say a lot of people, really what we're talking about are people who shape mainstream narratives, right? So people in politics, people in academia, people in news media, they've gotten used to, frankly, seeing black men who participate in crime in what I consider to be a very dehumanizing sort of animalistic way, where they see us as simply the byproduct of circumstance. So they see Lil Wayne and they don't get offended by him glorifying gangbangers in a country where thousands and thousands of young black men die every year off of that sort of glorification. Because they look at these young black men and say, well, they're poor, they don't go to a good school, they don't have jobs in their community. They're supposed to have these problems. They look at it as if we are destined to suffer. And they really don't acknowledge our humanity, because if they did, they would look at someone like Lil Wayne and say, you know better than that. You're capable of better than that. Just as I would get mad at Donald Trump for saying something immoral on television, I should get mad at Lil Wayne the same exact way, because morality is supposed to be greater than how much money you have or what you look like. And yet they see Lil Wayne in this sense, and it's almost like this sort of, well, his behavior is just like they would say a squirrel running around and up a tree, right? It's like, this is what he's been programmed to do. And that's what's become so frustrating to me in the work I do, when young men are sort of seen in this way that just completely removes any sort of self-agency, any sort of inner power to be greater than your circumstances. And it's reserved for very few people, right? I mean, it's reserved for Black men in many cases. It's not reserved the same way for the white guy who becomes a white supremacist or the white guy who shoots up his school. I think people are quicker to want to individualize that person's circumstances and say, well, you could have done better, right? Why are you hating? Why are you hating people? Why are you being violent? Why are you misogynist? But when it comes to us, it's like we're treated like subhuman, and it's people who claim to be our friend and our ally who are doing that, right? It's people who pat themselves on the back for saying, and they say, well, I'm not a racist because I'm not a Republican and I'm a progressive and I want universal health care. And they say all these things and they think that somehow justifies the way they perceive our community. And it breaks my heart because it is a kind of racism that I encounter more than almost any other form, and yet is the hardest to have people talk about.
I know what a few of y'all are saying. You see, I got a lot of Black female supporters, man. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. So you know how to get the Black female perspective up in here. Let's see what a Black female content creator, how she thinks about this.
The fatal flaw with the Black Lives Matter movement is that Black women, especially trans women, do not receive protection until after they are killed. And then at that point, you can't protect them because they're dead. I'm trying to get my words together right now just because I'm really angry and sad and emotional and frustrated. Like, this girl was like a year older than I am, and now she's dead. And now everyone's just like, Black women matter, I'm tired of reading that after the Black woman that you're talking about was already dead, was already killed. There's no point. There's no point if you're going to say it after they're already gone. And I know that they do it for Black men too, but my issue is the whole movement collectively surrounds or promotes Black cis hetero men. Black women will always show up for Black men who are getting killed by the police. They will always do it. But it's like, I don't know why so many people have this idea that like Black women are less likely to be killed by the police or killed in general. If anything, we're actually more likely, because Toyin was killed by a Black man. So my thing is, Black women are not even safe within their own community, let alone outside of their community, because we're dealing with racist violence from white people and then sexual violence from anyone, regardless of color. Y'all are just like, all Black lives matter, all Black lives matter. But it's like, most people can't name 10 Black women who have been killed by the police, but y'all can just rack off names of Black men. And it's not really a competition. It's not a competition. Of course it's not. But it's just more so what's happening. And that's what's happening. What's happening is people marginalize and look over Black women, especially. Don't even get me started if they're trans. If they're trans, it's like they get maybe 2 articles, and then if they're lucky, they go viral on Twitter. If they're lucky, though. If they're lucky. It's like, I'm so fucking tired of that. Like, I was sitting on Twitter reading, oh, justice for all Black women matter. It's like, yeah, but she's already gone though. Like, you saying that is not going to bring her back. I'm always going to say Black women matter and protect Black women. But my issue is when people say protect Black women in response to someone already being killed, rather than like, I'm going to protect Black women to prevent them from getting killed.
One of the worst stories I heard was about this little girl who passed away because of the actions of BLM. Let's actually play a clip.
One of those shootings over the weekend killed 8-year-old Sequoia Turner. They say she was riding with her mother and a friend Saturday night when they tried to turn into a parking lot on Pryor Road. That's not too far from where Rayshard Brooks was killed. According to police, they were confronted by an armed group to block the entrance. That's when someone started shooting at the car. For weeks now, we've been reporting there has been complaints about a group that has gathered around that burned out Wendy's where Brooks was killed, and some say they are armed and blocking roads.
But tonight, that group is now maintaining the memorial. That maintains the memorial is denouncing the shooting. 11 Alive's Joe Henke is following this investigation for us tonight. He's live at the Atlanta Police Headquarters. Joe?
Well, Ron and Aisha, the reward in this case now up to $10,000 from Atlanta Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, Atlanta police have released only a few details about the suspects in this case, as they only have vague descriptions of two possible shooters. 8-year-old Secoria Turner shot minutes before 10 p.m. on Saturday while riding in the back seat of her mom's car. Last night, her parents called the shooting senseless. Secoria remembered this afternoon with a moment of silence during a virtual Atlanta City Council meeting.
If Black Lives Matter has to matter all the time. We can't have in vitro racial self-hatred affecting us and killing us all.
Atlanta police told 11 Alive Turner's mom exited onto University Road from the downtown connector, and according to police, as she attempted to enter a parking lot, an armed group blocked the entrance. At some point, the car was shot at and the 8-year-old was hit. Secoria was rushed to Atlanta Medical Center but did not survive. The shooting happened across the street from the Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed by Atlanta police on June 12th. People living in the area tell 11 Alive groups have been putting up roadblocks and turning to violence at times to keep people out of the area. A group that maintained a memorial outside of the Wendy's since Brooks' death and is pushing for it to be turned into a peace center denounced the murder of Secoria.
While the unfortunate death occurred near the memorial site, none of our activists, community members, or neighbors were involved in this shooting.
Secoria Turner's mother now begging for the public's help.
My baby didn't mean no harm. Somebody knows something.
And we reached out to Atlanta police this afternoon asking if there are any updates on this case. So far, no response. Aisha, though, over the weekend, Atlanta police did put out vague descriptions, all they're releasing right now on the two possible shooters, describing one as, quote, wearing all black like a bounty hunter, the second wearing a white t-shirt.
Mr. Williamson and Ms. Turner, did you all want to say anything?
Help me. Help my baby. She was only 8 years old. Right now is what? 30 minutes after the 6. She would have been on TikTok dancing in her phone. Just got finished eating. We understand the frustration of Rayshard Brooks. We understand. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We innocent. We didn't mean no harm. My baby didn't mean no harm. Somebody knows something.
They say Black Lives Matter. You killed your own. Killed your own this time. Just because of barrier. They killed my baby because she crossed the barrier and made a U-turn. You killed a child. She ain't do nothing to nobody.
They didn't give us time to make a U-turn. They started shooting on my car before we could even make a U-turn. Shooting my tires out. Like, why?
Well, Black Lives Matter.
My baby was shot in her bed.
Killing your own.
Nobody there to help.
You killed an 8-year-old child.
Nobody.
She ain't did nothing to now one of y'all. She just wanted to get home to see her cousin. That's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to get home.
Right in my own.
And the sad irony of this, you all watched the video of Rayshard Brooks. He talked about wanting to get home for his daughter's 8th birthday. My birthday. We didn't do nothing. We didn't do anything. Let me just tell you all about this Wendy's location. The time for
Listen. I just want to say something on behalf of our family. We're going to get through this because we are just that, a family. Whoever did this, we asking the public, we are pleading, call Crime Stoppers, call the Atlanta Homicide. If you're in a different county, DeKalb County, call DeKalb County Homicide. If you see this person in a vehicle, get a tag number, something. We are pleading with you to come forward for this. We are pleading. This is a child life gone too soon. We are pleading. Anybody, if you know anybody that knows somebody that know this person's a person, please, we beg you. We beg you. Please, please. Let's do this. Bring this in for justice. If you out there and you hear this plea for a family to be able to sleep better at night, because Sequoia, my 8-year-old beautiful niece, got taken away out of nothing. I ask you to please just turn yourself in. Please turn yourself in. This is your friend, your neighbor, your cousin. Please, please. We urge you, we beg you, please call Crime Stoppers, call Atlanta Police, DeKalb County Police, whatever police, call somebody so we can get this case settled and get justice for Sequoia. Please. Thank you. Thank you.
This holiday season will be a tough one for the family of Sequoia Turner. The little girl was killed back on July 4th when someone opened fire on her car on University Avenue in Atlanta. One person has been charged, but police are still looking for others who may have been involved. And today, her mother described what she misses the most about her as she made an emotional plea for the community to come forward with answers.
Because most holidays, Sequoia is the one that's loud. She's the loudest. She's always happy, lighting up the room, because she's always loud, making everybody laugh. And we won't get to experience that this year.
19-year-old Julian Conley is charged in the little girl's death. Conley's attorney says he was in the area that night, but claims he never fired a weapon and cannot identify the person who did.
I'm just going to be blunt, man. BLM does not care about black people. Oh, yeah, I went full Kanye West, fam. In my personal opinion, they don't give a damn, fam. It doesn't go with their agenda. How the hell can you sit here and say, oh, we care about black people? Sometimes they did Terry Crews foul for even questioning it, as they do everyone who questions anything they do.
Amber Heard is not the only person that's running around trying to squeeze out crocodile tears.
That's facts.
This next story involves me and Patrice Cullors. You remember Patrice Cullors? She is the founder of Black Lives Matter.
That was a hell of a switch up. We went from radiant, amazing out here, looking into what is this? A raisin in the sun. Radiant, amazing to a raisin in the sun. And she got the nerve to have a Black Lives Matter shirt on, sitting up there looking like Darth Vader with the helmet on.
The movement, it's all about Black lives. Put tons of money, donate money to rich.
I thought I had some dust on my screen. I was trying to wipe it off. I was trying to wipe it off, and it wasn't moving.
Yourself of white guilt. Well, I've been working on a documentary about Patrice Cullors. I've been wondering, I've been asking, I've been searching for the answer to this question. Black Lives Matter reported to have raised more than $90 million on the back of George Floyd and other Black people that died at the hands of police, as they say.
90. That's a lot. 90 million, and they were just putting it in their pockets and buying mansions and whatnot.
And no one seems to be able to account for the dollars. So I thought I would like to take a look at this.
Go ahead, girl.
Patrice jumped on Instagram as we were recording this, and I was outside of her home. And here is her explaining what took place.
Fam, prepare yourself for some fake ass crocodile tears. Like when she said Amber Heard, that was a good ass comparison because she gonna be on here with the fakest. I feel unsafe. Shut your nasty ass up. Your lying ass. Go ahead, expose her, man. Go ahead, killing it.
This morning, I woke up to Candace Owens being outside of my house with a news crew. She was demanding that I come outside.
Don't even sound like Candace. Yo, fam, that don't even sound like Candace. I demand you come outside. Come on, fam, you capping.
And
when
I looked at the video recording,
hey, if you didn't come here for the jokes, I don't know why you came here. That's why I came. I came for the jokes. Okay, I'm high as hell as well.
Of what she was asking about, she was actually asking about the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation property. And for some reason, seems like she thought my house was that.
Is that what it was listed as? Is that what the house is listed as with your lying ass? Yeah, maybe that's why she went to that location. Maybe because that's where it was like a headquarters for BLM. Is that what your nasty ass is buying houses and saying? Maybe that's why that's happening.
It's unacceptable and it's dangerous that anybody, any stranger come outside of my house, but it's really
dangerous. Those riots was dangerous. That was actually extremely dangerous, man. The streets was on fire, bro. That was dangerous as hell.
Really unacceptable and dangerous.
Candace Owens outside your house.
When Candace Owens
is a pleasant surprise, nigga. Come on in. I got some tea, some crumpets. What's up? I did get some pizza. What's up? Let me spoof up the place. Clean up, bro. Come on. I mean, the most pleasant surprise. Yo, Candace. Nigga said Candace Owens outside your house is threatening. Come on, bro. Yo, wow. Now, Little Nas X, aka Little Nasty, being outside your house, that's kind of scary. I wouldn't.
Another Black woman.
I wouldn't know
who is actually working as a part of a
sounds like
agenda.
Patrice is afraid of Black people. That seems like a little bit of racial profiling, Patrice. You might want to check that. First and foremost, she's a liar. We know this. It's why I've nicknamed the movement Black Lives Matter. She starts out by saying, I woke up to Candace Owens outside of my house. It was about 10 a.m., Patrice. You're lazy. I didn't.
She's like, well, it's 10. You're lazy. You lazy as hell. Come on. Everybody else would have been up already. Then that's a fact. I can't even try to sleep past 10. That's like impossible for me. I got to be up and doing something. In fact, it might be like 5 or 6 in the morning right now in this very moment. Actually, that's the only time I can get some quiet with these noisy ass mother. So yeah, I can't do that whole sleep past 10.
Obviously had no idea she was inside. She contradicts herself when she retells the story. First, she says, Candace demands that I come outside. That absolutely never happened. But she's trying to create this imagery of her being afraid and scared and me going, Patrice Cullors, come outside. But then she immediately jumps and says, Candace didn't know where.
I couldn't even imagine that, bro. I'm telling you. I couldn't even imagine that. That would be crazy.
She was at, and she was asking if this was the residence that Black Lives Matter purchased so that Black people could, as she said in the press and Black Lives Matter, have a creative space to create videos. those two ideas conflict with one another. It is
that's
true.
Bullcrap. Yeah, hell no. I don't believe her for nothing, fam. I don't think Candace do nothing wrong. Get to the truth. And yeah, she finding out some stuff, fam.
That I showed up at one of the many $1 million residences that are connected to Black Lives Matter. I had no idea that Patrice Cullors lived there. I had no idea.
Exactly, fam. I figured that. I figured she was just tracing with a business. And you heard it right. Black Lives Matter is a business. I figured she was just tracing where the business was, and she just happened to bump into this fraud ass chick in her house.
I did that she was inside. There were no demands made. There was a security guard that was outside who happened to be white, might be relevant. And I simply asked him if there was anyone available that we could speak to about the purchase of this home. I just want to take you through Patrice Cullors' real estate empire that she's been building in the background of the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, so she spent $3.2 million on high-end homes between 2016 and 2021.
Crazy. That don't make no sense. What is she in the real estate? Is Black Lives Matter a real estate company now? Why would she even need to be doing that?
Peak of the movement.
That sounds crazy.
In 2016, she bought a home in Inglewood, California for $510,000. In 2018, she purchased a $590,000 home in South Los Angeles. In January, she purchased a $415,000 custom ranch in Conyers, Georgia, which features a...
What the fuck she needed with a ranch, my man? That sounds crazy. What does she need a ranch for? Yo, wowin'.
Private airplane hangar. That sounds nice.
Ranch.
In 2021, she purchased a $1.4 million home in exclusive Los Angeles neighborhood of Topanga Canyon. That's the one that I was at. In 2020.
Only Topanga I know about and like Topanga Lawrence from Boy Meets World. If you know, you know. Yeah, that's my shit.
Two, they spent nearly $6 million. This is the organization directly in their donations to purchase a 6,500 square foot California mansion. And they made the purchase through an intermediary named Dwayne Pascal, who is the financial manager for an LLC owned by Black Lives Matter
Yo, she doing her homework, yo. Candace be on it, fam. She gonna crack the case. She like a live action Lois Lane out here in these streets.
Founder Patrice Cullors and her wife. Speaking of her wife, BLM Canada, in the summer of 2021, purchased a 3-story Victorian mansion in Toronto to turn it into a $10,000 square foot art center and a meeting space. The $6.3 million mansion was bought by M4BJ. In case you're wondering what that is, it's an acronym for a Toronto-based nonprofit set up by Janaya Khan, the wife of Patrice Cullors.
Wow. Nah, that's shady. That's mad shady, fam. 100%. Without a doubt. That's wow. She is disgusting, bro. BLM is disgusting. I've been saying that for a long time, man. And Candace Owens has been saying that since day one as well.
This seems a little bit shady. And by the way,
shady.
That $6 million mansion, that 6,500 square foot one, I should mention that Patrice recently came out and confessed that she lied. You know, they told us it was for arts and craft and creative activities for the Black Lives Matter community. Well, she came out after I showed up at her place and said, actually, you know what? I lied.
So Candace going to her house, pulling up, actually got some truth to be. Yo, that's crazy. The left, yo, you got some splaining to do. Got some splaining to do, like my man from I Love Lucy. That was the name of that joint. Got some explaining to do, bruh. What's up? So Candace Owens goes out there, asks a few questions, and now the truth is starting to come out finally. Now she admits to lying. Wow.
And we actually have been using this for some other things, including her son's birthday party, her young son's birthday party. And also they hosted a party to celebrate the inauguration of Joe Biden.
Hansy? You used the mansion to celebrate Hansy McGee? Ooh, let me smell your hair. For real?
I thought she said she was scared for her kids.
Wow.
Who throws a celebration for Joe Biden if you've got any fear regarding children? But none of those facts actually matter to Patrice. She actually was able to work herself up into what I would describe as a histrionic personality disorder, maybe, and made herself.
Oh, no, I ain't no doctor. I ain't no die. I don't know, fam. I ain't studying none of that.
Cry on Instagram. Take a look.
Y'all, I really need my family to be safe. I need to be safe. I need my child to be safe.
From Candace. No, we need to be safe from your lying ass. Manipulated, mad black people. I've been telling people, bro. I swear. People are crazy.
And this what happened this morning is not safety. It's not what I deserve. It's not what any of us deserve.
I didn't even see any tears, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see a single tear fall down.
Yeah, I really need my child to be safe. There's an 8-month pregnant woman outside asking politely if she can speak to somebody. And
oh, snap, Candace is pregnant. I was like, congratulations, girl. I know that.
I don't know why I'm still sleeping and my child's not even here, but I hope that you believe these non-tears that are coming down my face. Here's what actually happened when I showed up.
Non-tears. That's facts. That's what I just said. I ain't seen any tears fall down for a fake crying ass, man. All right, let's see what the real footage is looking like.
Her house. Take a look.
Let's see.
I did see some cars that were loaded. There's definitely somebody home. Hello. I was just looking to speak to whoever is at this property because...
As polite as ever. As polite as ever, bro. Wow. Some motherfuckers is nasty out here with their lying ass. You feel safe? She's like fucking being extremely nice, bro. Like, I don't see any kind of hostility. She seemed extremely sweet. Just gentle. Hey, just want to ask some questions. Just... asking questions, don't want to cause any bother. How is that threatening, fam?
Because it's listed as the Black Lives Matter property.
Okay, showing that she didn't even know that this Patrice chick was even in there. It was listed as the Black Lives Matter property. Wow.
Sir? Hello? Are you instructed not to speak to anybody? We're not trying to harass you. We'll gladly leave. We're just wondering if we can speak to anybody.
Mad respectful. Y'all just silent. Y'all mad silent. Wow. Oh, Black Lives Matter is disgusting. Wow.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. So the moral of this
was being mad nice. Damn, these guys ran like baby back bitches for no reason because she wasn't being hostile. Like, yeah, that's some bullshit. This woman in there crying, I feel safe.
Is that Patrice Cullors continues to lie. Black Lives Matter continues to lie. And the reason that she's lying and trying to squeeze out these last victim crocodile tears is because she knows the truth is coming. I've been working on this documentary for months to expose Black Lives Matter. It's frustrated me being a person that has always been telling the truth about what they were doing. Obviously, what looked to me to be a money laundering scheme.
Is that how you think things should be ran? Huh? A dictatorship? Because that's where it's going. 100% if you keep following this bull crap. I'm BX Beast Boy, YouTube's first supervillain, and this has been my video with my take on BLM. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. I really do appreciate the hell out of y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe. And if you extra nasty, check me out on Patreon or join my channel memberships. If you can't, don't worry about it. I know how it feels. I know how it feels when the pockets is low. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you do all that other special stuff. And if you already subscribed, make sure you hit that bell because YouTube be playing, son. Check that bell. Make sure you click all so you can be notified when I drop new stuff.